It's you.
Oh. Nothing wrong. Did you see there were 3 deer out here?
Oh.
Were they here when you
Oh,
came
is
down?
it?
Did you see?
Oh.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just when I came down, there were 3 deer.
Quite nice, isn't it?
let's play again. We still have time. Okay, we better stop here, isn't it? Before we all. Okay. Chumden de deje jaba da jomba yan damba zobe sanje riba dan shabzu demba dewara Jebo debe galo jorwa lana meba lada menanje domba sanje chumden de pejawa jaja doba la jas Chudo jazo jo domba jomden de deje java da jomba yandaba zobe sanje riba dan shabzu Dewara jeba jigden jemba jebo deve kalo jorwa lana meba lada menamje domba sanje jomden de peja Chadze lo chudo jazo jo domba jomden de deje shaba da jomba yandaba zobe sanje riba da shabzo Jigden jemba jebo debe galo jorwa lana meba lada menamje domba sanje jomden de pejawa shaja tuba laja Yauzo je ho lama da gombo jezen jambe ya chaze lo kange lo che nye ten de nyen da nam da ram se che nye deng che che se che nye je to ga le ba ma en zen kanda ze pe ze ra ma re men do mo en do nye ge ze cha zo gen la po je da ra ze ye la chu ju yang den song cho da ra je cho nye mo nye lo le ge cha do che ze chen re me se to nye nye go che nye che ze ra je nam te ne da chen sa ju da ra se yen de len zo ja se tu bu ko cho da jo da cho nye gen de da lu me se jang be yang la de Oma Arabazana de Omarabazana, Marabazana, 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 Omarabazana, 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 Umara Bazanado, 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 Oma Arabazana di 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 zenden jenje jera vezek dalu demo memba da zene gadan tenju shonlo toba lo zhe bo be na wa ze do ze jo zhen me do dama zhe ra ling zhe nian de genba de zang je zhen do me de mbo wa ye zhou gun nam da zhen la zhe ba ra sho Lama damba kenam ge chugu kala kenze tenjene jedara zambe dujen zema la savje chuje chava abdo se rana menda laga naya thaya me sanje jodan soje chonama la chanju bado tane jazo Tage chuje jebe sonam je drola penje drovara sho sanje jodan soje chonama la chanju bado tane jazo Dage chuje jebe sonam je drola penje san drovara sho sanje chodan soje chonama la chanju bado tane jazo dage jeje jebe sonam je dola penje san dobara sho. Good morning. So how was Thanksgiving? You had anything special?
Lots of food. Lots to be thankful for.
No fights?
Not at our house.
Sometimes these are the occasions where you have the opportunity to meet after a long time. And then after you meet, you fight, you argue, and then go back enemies. And then it will take another year to come back together. Anyway, welcome to our final class of the year. Can you imagine that it's already 1 year? 2022. We have finished 2 semesters. So now it's time to look back, isn't it? Every new year, remember, we have been discussing that new year is the time. You look back, you reflect on what the year has been for you. For us, is our practices, spiritual practices. How far have we come? What change or transformation has happened to us?
Were we the same person that we started in January, or we are a bit different? But of course, in terms of knowledge, definitely we have heard more things. We have learned new things. We know more intellectually. But the question is whether all that commitment that you have made to come to attend the classes, did all that make a difference to us in terms of bringing transformation? So we are different. For other people, of course, if you have gained some knowledge, that's good enough. But for us, we are not here to gain knowledge. We are here to make change, bring transformation within us. So the question is, were we able to do it? Was there even a slight change? If there is slight change, great, because this spiritual transformation or these Dhamma practices, the results are what we call, what is that called? Incremental change. So that's why some people who come to Buddhism, they were so excited. They're so intrigued by all these views or whatnot. And they become so engrossed. And like almost, I don't know, 24 hours or if not, they will really try to do practice and all these things. Even when you tell them to slow down, there's plenty of time. And then what happens? After a few months, exhausted. Because they expect to see some results. Instant gratification did not happen. And then, oh, this doesn't work. This doesn't work. Oh, then you either just abandon. So that shows that you don't really understand the workings. We have to be patient. We shouldn't be just, looking for some instant result. It takes time. It takes time, and also it takes what you call our commitment and putting effort consistently. If you just put effort one day and then the next day, if you just relax everything, then nothing happens. But if we are sincere in our practice, and then if we really put effort, then we will see some result, some change, some transformation, no matter how small or incremental it is. But there will be a change. But in order for us to have that consistency, we really need to see the benefit. So when we see the benefit in putting effort in practice, then we will find joy. When we find joy, we won't be exhausted. We won't feel that sense of dread. We don't see it as a chore, as something that I must do. We will do with wholeheartedly, and that bears the result. So every year we do this reflection, but I don't know whether I will be here to remind you of this, so that's why I am just talking this today. So you have to spend time and look back and see what a change has occurred. So if you find that there has been some transformation, positive transformation, then rejoice and make a stronger determination that, okay, next year I will do even better. And if you find that nothing really has happened in terms of inner transformation, but it's okay, we still have time. But you must make a decision, make resolve. We must resolve to change that. And next year, when we look back, we will be smiling that, wow, this year I have something to show. I have improved. That's what Dharma practitioners, Dharma students are supposed to do. Other students is okay as long as you pass the quiz. That's it. You will get a degree. With that, you can get a job. So there's no much, I don't know, correlation or much use there. But our is not like that. We must differentiate that. We must come with a different attitude, different approach. That will make a difference. So with that, let's dive into our current topic. So let's recap. So last week, in the last session, we talked about this practice consists of three main topics. We have the preliminary practices, we have the actual practice, and then kind of the conclusion. So we have finished discussing about the preliminary practices. Under the preliminary practices, we have refuge practices, which involves visualizations. Remember what are the two main visualizations? Can anybody recall? Hey, that's just last session. Remember each, like I go for refuge to Buddha, I go for refuge to Guru. Each one there is two parts, two prong.
You mean purification and merit?
Yeah.
Okay.
So on one hand, you focus on purification. What term they use? Non-dharmic qualities, they call it. So you do that part of the visualization involves purifying all that non-dharmic or all that negativities, cleansing or purifying all that. And then the other half you focus on increasing the positive qualities, dharmic qualities. So these are the main practices. So I covered that in detail because some of you may want to do some refuge practice. So these are the visualizations that we need to do when we do refuge practices. Like before we do this, what you call the long retreat, we need to finish this window. So one of them is the refuge. We have to do 100,000 of refuge practices. So people do that. People normally combine with the mandala offering. So they do Sanje Chodo Soyechon and then do the mandala. So that's how they finish the two practices at one shot. So these visualizations are important. And even if you are not aiming, targeting to do any long retreat, but just like this, you can do, let's say, 1 week if you have time. You can just do retreat on refuge itself. That would be very good. Remember, all these practices are to purify our negativities and then collect or amass merit. When we have these two, when we are able to reduce the level of negativities or obscurations, and then on the other hand, if we have adequate or enough merits, then whatever practice we do, we will see result. It will be more effective. At the moment, no matter how much we try, sometimes it's like it feels kind of hopeless. But because the conditions are not there, so in order for all this to happen, we need to create the conditions. So once all the conditions are in practice, in place, then it has no choice. Result must come, because result has no choice. When the causes and conditions are there, it propels to produce or yield the result. So if we are unable to bring together the causes and conditions, then no matter how much, how strongly we wish for, nothing happens. So anyway, so these are the preliminary practices. And then in terms of actual practices, so is the first the invocation where we invite the merit field. So remember, in the preliminary practices, we have already dissolved the refuge field, all that merit field. So then we invite the merit field. In this case, is the Lama Tsongkhapa and the two disciples. Of course, Lama Tsongkhapa, inseparable of one's guru, is the embodiment of your guru. And once we invite the merit field, then we need to do practices to accumulate merits. So this is normally consists of 7 limb practices, which is said to be very simple but very effective, very powerful practices to purify and to accumulate merits. And then finally, after all that, the 7 limb practices are done, then we supplicate, we make requests, fervent requests. So these are the 3 main kind of headings under the actual practice. So we have already covered the first 2 from the 7 limbs. We have already covered the invocation as well as requesting. So now we are on the third verse, which is prostration. Sheje chungun jewe lo zhudu kesan nawe kengyur lekshe song chakbe beje lamega zebe ku tongzhe tembe Ganden Lha Gyäma tses. Sometimes I write when I really need it, it's not there. Yeah. Your holy mind has the intelligence that understands the full extent of objects to be known. Your holy speech. So this is praising Lama Tsongkhapa's body speech, the quality of body, speech, and mind. So it starts with the mind. Your holy mind has the intelligence that understands the full extent of objects to be known. So it's like your intelligence or your mind pervades anything that exists. It's like the what do you call the phenomena are short of Buddha's, not Lama Tsongkhapa's intelligence. So Lama Tsongkhapa's what do you call the mind is far more. There's less things to know. Whatever is there to know, your mind, your intelligence understands the full extent of object to be. Sheje kyungun jewe lotu tuks. That's Lama Tsongkhapa's mind, the quality of mind. Of course, Lama Tsongkhapa we view as Buddha. So it's the same quality as Buddha. And then your holy speech with its excellent explanations is an ear ornament for those of good fortunes. So here is Lama Tsongkhapa's speech. So of course speech, whoever listens to Lama Tsongkhapa's teaching, they will find it so beneficial. So it's like if you have a, I don't know whether this analogy will fit, but if you have a diamond ring or something, so that one, whoever wears it, it will look nice. But I don't know, let's say, assume there is something. So it's like this, Lama Tsongkhapa's teachings or talks, whoever listens, there's nothing wrong there. You cannot find any error. Whoever listens to it they will find something beneficial. It will help them. It will become like an ornament to ears. There's nothing unpleasant. So that's Lama Tsongkhapa's speech quality. So of course we say the Buddha's speech. So when Buddha speaks, we don't need translators. Buddha just speaks in one language, and in the audience they have devas, they have nagas, they have human beings, and there are other beings, but they all hear in their own language. And then Buddha also knows what that particular sentient being needs or wants to hear. So I have heard from people that when Lama Zopa Rinpoche teaches, he says that many comes out with, oh, Rinpoche answered my question. Rinpoche cleared my doubts. So when you listen to Rinpoche's teaching, if you are not familiar, it's like all over the place. But obviously, somebody is benefiting for all that. So maybe you have the same feeling.
I've heard the same story.
Yeah.
Teachings where different people have heard different things.
Yeah. And then another quality is that Buddha's the what do you call the voice can reach anywhere, whether you are sitting next to Buddha or whether you are sitting miles away, is the same. So I think it's a Mongeputra, one of the main disciples of Buddha. So he has this attend these feats. So he could really travel to in the space like that with kind of perform miracles. So he went to see how far Buddha's voice can reach, and no matter how far he goes, is still the same. So that one, when you hear, it's like, how can that be the case? But they say that in Tibet, those days, there's no sound system. Lamas has been giving teaching, and they say that when Gyabju Pagunga Rinpoche, when he was teaching in Tibet, so some of the young Rinpoches will be sent out to place the implements when they give initiation. So they say that even though you are far out to reach the place that those initiation implements on the heads, they could hear the same voice, even though they are so far away. Those days, thousands of people attend the teachings. There is no mic system. Still people hear. So when you hear those testimony, then you think that, oh, that is possible. But unfortunately, I don't have that ability. If you're not close, you cannot hear me. Yeah. Even with the microphone, even with the sound system, you cannot hear. So that shows that I don't have that quality. So that's Lama Tsongkhapa's quality of speech. And then your holy body is radiantly beautiful with glory renowned. So they say that it's like His Holiness. When you look at His Holiness, it's like no matter how long you look at Him, it's like kind of insatiable. It kind of captivates you. So that's what it says. And there were stories that Lama Tsongkhapa's appearance is that when you first see him, it's like something you feel a bit of scared. But then, even though you are scared, it's like you don't want to really part that experience. So many people who went to see His Holiness, they say that it's like when His Holiness enters the room, it's like the room is lit by some light. And then the minute His Holiness leaves the room, it's like the light is, extinguished, eliminated. So that kind of thing. So why this happens is because they have cultivated so much merit in the past. So here it says, I think in another praise to the Buddha, this is similar. Your body is created from billion factors of goodness. So eons and eons of years of doing merit. So they have this special, even some great lamas, they have that presence. When they see those great lamas, that they have this presence that you feel it. The moment you meet them, you feel it. Because of all that merit. When somebody is meritorious, it is different. You can feel the presence. I prostrate the holy body, radiant, beautiful, with glory renowned. I prostrate to you whom to see, hear, and remember, so meaningful. Is this correct? Something is wrong, or does it make sense?
Maybe instead of a comma, is so meaningful.
Oh, I see, is meaningful. Okay. Yeah, so basically when you even think, see, or listen, then it brings meaning to your life. Just looking at Buddha or Lama Tsongkhapa, it says that it will invoke some kind of positivity within you. So when we look at His Holiness, we don't have these negative afflictions arising. It's all of a sudden is like that. Even that such an angry person, when that person is in the presence of His Holiness, it's a completely different, isn't it? All the positivities exhaust. So that kind of quality. So when we do this, say these lines, we need to kind of remember all these qualities. And then remembering these qualities, then you prostrate. So the prostration is so important. In Sutra, it says that when you do prostration, one acquires the merit to become 1,000 world emperors for each atom in the ground covered by one's body. So in Buddhist cosmology, I think they talk about there's this golden ground there. So from where the earth, the normal ground and the base ground is so deep. But it says that this one, when you do prostration, whatever atoms within that space or that area, so it's like unimaginable, countless, billions and billions. So even if one atom, one acquires the merit to become 1,000 world emperor, even if you have created the merit to become one-time emperor, that would be so great. But it says 1,000 times from one atom. So if your atom is millions, then millions of 1,000 emperors. So it's like unimaginable. So in that case, yeah. So Buddha was asked, if it is so meritorious, then yeah, everybody who is doing prostrations should have been achieved enlightenment by now, because it is so meritorious. So Buddha said, yes, you are right. But unfortunately, we have this thing called anger. The minute anger arises, just a moment, instant, anger destroys all that merit. So if this is such a meritorious, why don't we grab that? Even this is not true. What is there to lose, isn't it? Even if you really gain any of these merits, at least it will benefit your health, isn't it? Because it involves doing some exercises, some stretching. So even if it doesn't, all this merit is not the but at least you will benefit from all these exercises. Your health will benefit, isn't it? Yeah. So we should do. So I always tell that we should at least do 3 times a day. So that will help us to prevent the multiplication of our negative karma. Negative karma that is not purified, it multiplies. So when you do the prostration, at least 3 times, it could be in the morning, it could be in the evening, but of course the best is if you're able to do 3 in the morning and 3 in the evening before going to bed. That's the best. If not, just do 3 times, at least 3 times in 24 hours time. At least that will help to prevent the multiplying of our negative karma. So when we do prostrations, I think I have covered this before, but just to emphasize, first of all, even this making the palm is not like this. Many people do this. This is what you call non-Buddhist thing. For Buddhists, we must put this in. You will see that's a common mistake. So they will always do like this, or do this. You must fold this. It's like you're holding a pearl, wish-fulfilling pearl in your hand. So always must tuck in these 2 thumbs. That's the right way to make the, the palm, is it? Folding hands, yeah. And then you go 1 on the crown, 2, 3, 4. Or it is okay to do 1, 2, 3. 3 or 4. So when you do, here is like, this represents the body, speech, and mind. And this is where the Buddha's that curled hair there. So this is when you do this, it is to create the causes or leave imprints in the future to have that curled hair, the Buddha's quality. So when you do this, when you place your hand on your crown, then the visualization is that may all the negativities that I have created through my body be purified. When you come down here, all the negativities that is created via speech, and then negativities of mind. So we have to do this, not just quickly doing. So we have to think this way. And then on the other hand, you can also, when you place, may I receive all the blessings of Buddha's body, Buddha's qualities of qualities of Buddha's body, holy body, and here qualities of Buddha's speech, Buddha's mind. So we have to imagine that you receive that, and then do that prostration. So when you go down, of course, is what we call the five points. So this one, but always try to go flat. Your hand was flat, and then some people, it's common in Tibetan practice. Some will go as if they're making prayers. But I say it's not good. Go down fast, come up fast. Because coming up fast represents or signifies getting out of lower realms, rising quickly from lower realms. So when we do prostrations with this visualization, knowing what you are doing, knowing the significance, then it will be very beneficial. So at this stage, if you are doing a kind of retreat, you can even do the, I mean, you can just stand up and do prostrations while reciting these lines. So the merit field is Lama Tsongkhapa. So imagine that Lama Tsongkhapa and the 3 disciples are up there. But of course, we always must not forget that Lama Tsongkhapa is this time is what you call embodiment of your Guru. So it's inseparable. So it's there. It actually is your Guru, main root Guru, but is in the form of Lama Tsongkhapa. So with that as your merit field, then you can do prostrations as many as you want at that session. So you just recite the 4 lines. By reciting, you do the prostrations. That's one way to do the prostration practice. Now we come to the offerings. So we have discussed this briefly in the last session. So now that you have already made the prostration, so now you are making offerings. Pleasing drinks. So you set up your offerings there, whatever you can afford, whatever you are comfortable with. So of course we discussed that water bowl offerings is a very common practice. You offer water bowl, whatever it is, and then various flowers, then fragrant incense, light scented waters, and so forth. So I'm sure you must be doing every day. Most of the Tibetans do this on daily basis. Water bowl offering is 7. Some people will do even 2 sets. That will be 14. And then they're always here. They do like in here. How many? Wow, so many sets. This is a daily thing. Most of the Tibetans do that. And then the lamb offering. So olden days you have to make from butter. So it involves a bit of a work. But nowadays you can buy those tea lights. It is so convenient. Go to IKEA and you can buy a big packet. It's not so expensive. So every day offer that and then light an incense. So these are affordable. You can do that. Because when you do this, they say that triple gem is considered the merit field. Merit field because when we make offerings to the triple gem, we gain merit. But it says that the most powerful or the supreme object of merit, what do you call merit field, supreme merit field is one's Guru. So in this case, when you are doing Ganden Lha Gyäma practice, make offerings, what more you want? Is something easy, simple, doable. It's just that we need to set our minds to it. So if you don't set your minds, you will never do it. But if you set your mind on it, then you will be able to do. Remember the goal setting? It has to be specific, smart they call it. We cannot just vaguely, say, oh, I will do my practice. I will try to do good practice. It's very vague, nothing specific. You have to be specific. Like in this case, every morning I will do 3 prostrations. So there is specific, you have a measurable, 3, and then you will say every day there is a time specific. So it's a goal that you can achieve. And you can say every morning I will do water bowl offering. That's also achievable, specific, achievable, realistic. So this kind. So you can decide to do that. Once you have set all that offering, so these are the what you call actual offerings that you put forth. And then you can also imagine, you can visualize in the space, whatever you have offered, you can visualize it multiplying, but space full of offerings. You may not be able to get the best flowers, but you can visually imagine that you have that countless in the space and then offer. So when we go, when we go and when travel, and when she sees a nice house, a nice, oh, I will offer this to you and my guru, she will always does that. Because it's all there, but she just offers. So it's so good. You don't have to buy that pretty house or pretty garden, but he just offers visually. I mean, it isn't. So you see, you get the benefit from that, even though it is owned by somebody else. The problem is if I go and say, hey, this is offered to me. Yeah, so it's a fragrant incense. Is it incenses? Is it incenses, lights, scented waters, and so forth. So the scented water, you can buy saffron. You can buy in Costco. I saw, but the best is I think the Spanish one, really good. You just have to add a little bit in whatever jug you have. So that's what I do. In the evening, when I bring the fresh water up, I just add a little bit of saffron, and then morning by morning, it's nicely scented. So you offer that. Oceans of cloud-like offerings, both actually arranged and mentally emanated. I offer to you. Of course, the best offering is you follow the instructions of your guru. You practice. And from your practice, whatever good qualities, whatever spiritual qualities that you have developed, that you transformed, you visualize that into any form of offerings and then offer. That's the best. So in order to do that, we need to practice. If we have no practice, then nothing to offer, isn't it? So if we have practiced something, then you can offer that. That would be the best offering. So I offer to you the supreme field of merit. So because it's the guru there, so it's the supreme field of merit. So now confession. Okay, here. So I came across this one. It's Gyäma Thani. Korwa Tongmene Sakbe Tikzo Gyäbe Pangzushin. Tikwan Nariyang Gyäba Chawa Jar Tini Kwana Baba Taburana Ninzin Parme Tikdong Chardar Babubs. So what it says is that it's like for us, most of us, including myself, for most of us is like because we have taken so many lives in the past. So during all that time, we have engaged in negativities, negative karmas. So if we were to put all that negativities, negative karma on one side, it says, Gyäbe Pangzushin. It is like treasury of a king, royal treasury. So royal treasury, first of all, they have plenty, isn't it? So many, riches. Not only they have so many, but all kinds of variety. Not all kinds of variety, whatever they have will be the best quality. So our negative karmas are like that. It says like that. Because first of all, we have huge accumulation of negative karmas. And then all kinds of variety. Even just anger, you name it, and I think we have to show. Oh, this one. Oh, this one. Oh, here you go. I have this one. Oh, let me look for here. We can produce any kind, any type. And then in terms of quality, perfect quality. Because it's called the Zhongwen Juksum. Zhongwen Juksum is Zhou means the intention, actual. And then the Juk is the concluding. So if a karma which has all these three present, then it becomes the perfect karma. So for example, if we are angry at somebody, I think best is the mosquito. I normally give that. That's if you are sleeping and a mosquito buzzes, so your first thing is like get so irritated, especially you are really having a sound sleep and this is what do you call, hindering. So when you hear this, first thing is the intention. I must squash this, isn't it? So there's this, the motivation is so strong and so pure. It's like, I must squash this. And then you slap or whatever you do. The minute you hear, you slap. The action. And then when you find that, realize that, oh, you managed to squeeze, there is satisfaction. Ah, finally I did it. Isn't it? Now when we look at how we do practice, let's say if I sit down and start to do a 1 round of mala, mani pema, mani pema. First of all, intention, motivation. What is our motivation? Most of the time there's no real motivation, isn't it? We just, what you call, plunge into our sofa in front of TV and then it goes up. So there's no motivation set. And then, are we focusing on money? Most of the time, no. Our mind is something else. Here we say Om Mani Padme Hum is basically like reciting the mantra of the compassion, Buddha of compassion. But we are thinking of how to get even with that enemy, that person, isn't it? Om Mani Padme Hum. So the actual action is stayed. And then when we finish, sometimes we don't even finish. We just drop this and then something else calls you and goes. There is no dedication. So because of that, it says that when it comes to our negativities, it's like the king's treasury. But when it comes to the positive karma, it is like the possessions of a beggar, homeless people. They don't have much. Whatever they have is like nothing really perfect, isn't it? Even a cup will be dented here or broken chip, or it will be chipped. So because of that, we need to do purification. With all that negativities, no matter how diligent we practice, it is very hard to gain realization. So here what it says, whatever non-virtue of body, speech, what is the Tibetan? 간시 통매되네 사바 룡아이게 메기 룡아이 솜 룡아이게 메기 지제다 개버도 벗음지 메된초 닝네 조바다고 소수르샤스. Whatever non-virtue of body, speech and mind, especially those opposite to the 3 vows that I have collected from beginningless time, I confess each and every one with fervent regret from my heart. So we are eager to take this vow and that vow. We are eager to run to receive initiation. So that's why over here you see that when Lama visits, always initiation requesting. I'm against that. So when Shabbat Chuchi Rinpoche was here, I requested 7-point mind training. But Rinpoche said that we do 8 verses instead. I didn't request for initiation, but the rest of all initiation. Why they do that? They're trying to cater towards the people's inclination. People like to go to attend initiations, empowerment, but not really attend teaching. So when it comes to all this empowerment initiation, it involves receiving vows, bodhisattva vows, tantric vows. So for us, we cannot even really keep our what we call the praktimoksha vows. Or let's say we cannot even really restrain ourselves from committing 10 non-virtue, let alone abiding all that vows. First of all, we don't really know what it involves. Bodhisattva vows, remember we covered all that. In one section is like 46. And if you ask, I don't even know now what are these each and every one. And then tantric vows. When you receive tantra teaching or initiation, you have to take tantric vows. How many do we know? What are the vows that we're supposed to? We don't know. If we don't know, every time we are transgressing, we are violating that vow. So that's why it's like a endless rain of transgression that we engage. So that's why really it's like we have to do this confession and what is that called, the purification practice, like every day, because every day we are transgressing, we are violating some vows, knowingly or unknowingly. So that's why it is so important. But for purification to be powerful and effective, the four things must be present, isn't it? Shall we quiz time? What are the fours?
Okay, that's reliance. I call them the 4 R's.
4 R's, okay. What are the R's?
Reliance,
Power of?
Regret, resolve, and
instead of antidote, what do you call it?
remedy.
A remedy. Okay, 4 R's. It makes sense. Yeah, yeah. I saw some translation remedy. Yeah. So the most important is first we need to have that regret. Without that, yeah, we will continue. Even if we do practice, we do purification, we will still engage. So the power of reliance. So under the power of reliance, we have refuge and bodhicitta. And you know why these are here in the reliance? Do you recall why? Under the power of reliance, why is this important?
That's like the basis.
Why it is the basis? Why?
Partly it's because the negativities we create are either in relation
Yeah.
to the triple gem
Yeah.
or sentient being.
Yeah, exactly. So we create negative karma either in relation to three jewels, triple gem. To counter that, we do refuge practice. And then there are most of the negative karmas we create in relation to sentient beings. So for that, we do bodhicitta. So that's the power of reliance. And then power of regret, power of antidote. That's the actual practice. It doesn't have to be anything particular. But in this case, if you are really going to focus on the purification practice, then you can do recite this, the 35, the names of 35 Buddha practice, and then do prostration. You can bring the prostration here as well. But if this is to be in conjoined with tantric practice, then you can also bring in Vajrasattva practice. So that's why another way to prevent multiplication of our negativity is to every day before going to bed recite, or doesn't have to be bad, but every day recite at least 21 times of Vajrasattva mantra. So that is said to be that will prevent at least the multiplication. So if you have committed something tiny, then it will remain tiny. It will not snowball. Then the power of resolve is like, okay, in the future, whatever may come, I will not repeat this. I will not engage again. We need to have that. So with all these four presents, if we're able to do the purification practice with the four R's present, then our purification practice becomes effective and powerful. Okay, I think we stop here for break. Okay, let's just, but I was suggested that I should play something. Very creative, isn't it? Dhammam saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Break time. Sangham saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. You got A+ for creativity. I'm okay. Thank you. Oh, that's I'm okay. Thank you. Thank you. If I keep drinking it, then I need to go to the loo. Dhammam saranam gacchami. It's funny, yeah. Sangham saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Buddham saranam gacchami. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Buddham saranam gacchami. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. That one, I was part of it. Saranam gacchami. I was part of it. Yeah, they didn't really make it like a documentary, like an Indian movie. Drama, so I don't like it. Sangham saranam gacchami. Buddham saranam gacchami. muscles, isn't it? Yeah. And it's part of it. Not all.
Dhammam saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Buddham saranam gacchami. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami.
Yeah.
Buddham saranam gacchami. Buddham saranam gacchami.
Yeah.
Dhammam
Mindfulness,
saranam
introspection, and then something called conscientiousness. These three go together. If you make the mindfulness, then you have to introspection, and then you have to do the right thing. And conscientiousness is doing the right thing. Yeah. We call it Bhagavad. Because first you tell yourself, you make the resolve. You resolve that today I will do this and this and this and then and then constantly you remind yourself, be mindful, and then introspect, see what's my mind doing, am I doing anything or not? And then when you feel that you're going this way, refrain. That's the work of Bhagavad conscientiousness.
Dhammam saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami.
Actually, actual action.
Sangham saranam gacchami. Buddham saranam gacchami. Saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Dhammam Saranam Gacchami.
I have asked my friends, and I'm also handing my keys to the neighbor. So in case there anything emergency, they can check. Yeah.
Saranam Gacchami. Buddham Saranam Gacchami.
If it piles a certain height, they will close. Yeah. That's the advantage of being in a townhouse.
Saranam Gacchami. Saranam Gacchami. Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Sangham Saranam gacchami. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Buddham saranam gacchami. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Buddham saranam gacchami. Buddham saranam gacchami.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now is the rejoicing. So rejoicing is another very easy but very beneficial. That's why you see buy one get one free. I told you the story how I went after this Martha Stewart, is that Stewart? Martha Stewart's that pillow. It was on sale. I couldn't believe that it's only $4.99 or something. I bought one because I wasn't sure whether that will fit my pillow size. I bought one just to try. It fits well. I went back again to grab a few more. So this is sale. So when I go to Macy's departmental store, Macy, I think each floor has that corner there is called last act. That's where I always go. They really slashed the price. And then there's also, I think, backstage or something. There's another area that's also sale. You see, I know more than you do. It looks like you're all shaking your head. Yeah. So if there are any sales, let's say this kind of the buy one get one free, wouldn't we go? Maybe you are not that motivated, but I would go. Let's say iPhone, if there's a sale that get one iPhone and get one free iPhone, how many of us would queue there from the night before? That's what they do, isn't it? I don't know what was the situation yesterday or day before yesterday, Black Friday. Normally they said that they will queue early or night before, and then they really fight. Why? Because you are getting, what do you call? Deals. And on Amazon, there's always that Amazon deal of the day. Some people just look at it, and then sometimes it's a good deal we get. So this is like getting a good deal. You don't have to do anything except rejoice. So it's like you just lie on your bed and just think of what other people bring to your mind another person's good deed, and then rejoice. Wow, that's so great. How wonderful that person did that. May I be able to do so. So they say that if you rejoice, you get the same benefit. It depends on who the other person is. If the other person is higher in terms of their spiritual realizations, then you get half of it. So that's like 50% you are getting the other person's merit. And then if the other person is equal in the sense that your level of practice, level of realization is equal, then you get 100%. So wonderful, isn't it? There the person, let's say if somebody travels down to monastery and make a huge offering to the monks community, the person has to journey from here to India, then they have to spend money, arrange all this. And here you are just, lying on your cozy bed and you are getting the same merit. How wonderful that is. And if the person tend to be lower in terms of spiritual practices than you get double, 200%, is it? So this is the best way to, what do you call, amass merit, or when you use that word amass, it's like something, so collect merit. So here we are doing this. So this 7 limb practices, there's always this rejoice factor. And also when you rejoice, that's the best antidote for antidotes against jealousy. There's no way you can be jealous if you rejoice in other person's merit. So there are countless bodhisattvas doing practices, engaging in practice of generosity, morality, patience, whatnot. And we just have to sit and think and then just rejoice. How wonderful. So here we are rejoicing Lama Tsongkhapa's deeds. Now what is the Tibetan word? 닝네 조버도 소소체 닝메되데 만도 둘라도 최제방배 대줄 동요지 공부 최제 랍진 자발라 다자 삼바타베 이랑오. You strove for much learning and practice in this degenerate age. So if we had more time, then it would be better if we are able to really focus a little bit on Lama Tsongkhapa's life story. But many of you might have gotten that book by Geshe Tupten Jimba about the Lama Tsongkhapa's life story. So that's readable and very good. So once you know the life story, how Lama Tsongkhapa lived a life, then we will be able to rejoice, appreciate and rejoice. You strove for much learning and practice in this degenerate age. I think we can say until now we can say that Lama Tsongkhapa would be the only person who is more learned than every Buddhist scholar, let's say. I think it says that there wasn't any the Indian scholars' text that Lama Tsongkhapa has not read, has not seen. Because Lama Tsongkhapa came at the period where there is a lot of contradictions. So those who are in favor of sutra, they were saying that, oh, these tantric teachings are not Buddha's teaching. And those who are in favor of tantric, oh, these are not one. Those who are in real, just that kind of mindfulness meditation, they say, oh, analytical meditation is not important. And then there's also about the emptiness. The view is the right one there. So that's why Lama Tsongkhapa has to study all, to see all the literatures, to make sure that he doesn't miss, and make sure that what he is, what is that called? The positing is authentic teachings of Buddha. So how did he rely on? Is of course Buddha is gone, but he relied on the prophesied, what we call Shingde Soje, the trailblazers like Nagarjuna and Asanga, main, and then all that Nalanda Pandits. So he had seen almost every single text of their writings. So because there is a use for much learning and practice in this degenerate age, and remember we discussed that Lama Tsongkhapa's wisdom or the intelligence is such that, what was that, within 20 days or something, he was able to really master the field of perfection of wisdom studies, that study. So imagine a person with that kind of capability has spent years, over 30 years doing study. How much can that person would be able to digest? So ours, even if we did like 60 years of study, so nothing really to be, because our is so slow. But with that kind of capability, that kind of capacity, one would have really, really devoured, isn't all that knowledge. So used for much learning and practice in this degenerate age, and made your freedoms and richness meaningful. What is that word? So this freedom is freedom from the eight, by the abandoning the eight worldly concerns. So eight worldly concerns, Lama Tsongkhapa is said to have abandoned all types of eight worldly concerns. Normally there are three types of eight worldly concerns. Karna Tasum. Kabu is white. White worldly concerns, black worldly concerns, and then Tao is multicolored. So do you know, what would you think of this? It's funny, isn't it, how they label it? But anyway, it's simple. So the black worldly concern is the one that we normally know of, is the praise, and if we are happy, if we are praised, we are not happy, we are unhappy when we are criticized. Those eight things, those are considered as this comes under the category of black worldly concerns. And then the white, let me refresh my memory. The white is this grasping of person and grasp of phenomena at phenomena. This misapprehension of the true nature of things. So Lama Tsongkhapa is always free from that misimpression. So that's why I say he has abandoned the white worldly concerns. And then the multicolor is this self-cherishing attitude. So Lama Tsongkhapa has abandoned the self-cherishing attitude. So he's always other-cherishing. So because of that, Lama Tsongkhapa is not only just the black concern, worldly concern, but if we just don't think deeply, it seems that, what is so great about that? But for us, let the two aside. Self-cherishing is so hard for us. We are all the time self-centered. We have this self-centered, always me first, isn't it? Even if we do something good, what's in for me? What do I get? Isn't it? That's the first question. First attitude is like, what will I get? So self-cherishing, of course, then of course this apprehension of inherent existence. That one is so difficult. But even that black, the 8 worldly concerns, it seems the easiest, but it's not. It's really, really difficult. Even when you are somewhere, up there, they say that a practitioner may be able to let go of your house, family, and they are willing to take refuge in a cave, in a forest. That's easy. Has really renounced so much. But then they may have this concern that what would be people thinking about me? Are they thinking that I am a good retreater? Are they thinking that I am a good practitioner? Am I doing a good retreat? Or are they thinking something negative of me? You see, as long as that happens, you are still concerned about fame, what people are saying.
I was wondering, the four attachments, is that derived from the worldly drives?
What are the 4 attachments?
To abandon, if you're a Dharma practitioner or not, there's the four attachments that one trains to get free of after you're attached to this lifetime.
I don't know. I don't know what are the 4 attachments. Okay. Yeah. So of course, these 8 concerns is all because of attachment. The root is attachment. You are attached to fame. Mainly, you are attached to yourself, your ego. That's why you cannot take others' criticism. You always aim for higher status. You don't want to be in that kind of a status where nobody recognizes you. And so Lama Tsongkhapa, when it comes to one of the stories is that when Lama Tsongkhapa was quite popular then, he had so many followers, and because of that, his fame has actually spread far in China. So at that time, China was ruled by emperors. So the emperor sent an invitation for Lama Tsongkhapa to visit there. The first messenger or whoever, the emissary, whoever they sent, Lama Tsongkhapa even refused to meet. So those days, if you are invited by emperor of China, it is like, wow, such a great thing happening. Anybody would really jump at such offer. But Lama Tsongkhapa is not interested at all. And then they send the second time round. This time, Lama Tsongkhapa, because there's so much pressure, so he met with the messenger, but Lama Tsongkhapa didn't go. He sent somebody in his place. Lama Tsongkhapa was not interested. So just from that, we can see that Lama doesn't care about all this title and fame and whatever it is. He just wants to teach lead his students. By abandoning the 8 worldly concerns, Savior, we sincerely rejoice in your extensive deeds. So we don't need to, I mean, it is good if you can, but we don't need to rejoice other Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. Even if we are able to really rejoice Lama Tsongkhapa's deed, that would be a lot of merits, isn't it? So this is what is about rejoicing. Another break? No. Now requesting Lama Tsongkhapa, of course it's your root guru, to turn the wheel of Dharma. So here you imagine offering what do you call it, golden, those Dharma wheels, Dharma chakra. So this is because when Buddha first become enlightened, when Buddha achieved enlightenment, Buddha didn't teach. So Sagadawa 15 is considered the Buddha's enlightenment day. But you have the Chokur, which is the turning the wheel of Dharma. That is 1 month later, it's 49 days later. So there was a gap between that. So Buddha became, what do you call, enlightened. But he pondered on it and he decided not to teach. What is the word now? Never chas, because he felt that the Buddha, that the realization that he gained, that nobody is going to really understand, because it is completely the opposite of what people are doing, people's way of life, and what he has realized. If he were to tell them that, oh, this is not the way to live, well, people will be, he thought they will be, they think that, oh, what a crazy person. So anyway, that's one reason. The another reason is all Dharma need to be requested. So that's why we always make requests. When Lamas come, we have to make requests. Lama will not just, oh, I will teach you, unless you are very close. It's never the case. That's why the request must come from the disciples, if they want. So that's why the first class, all these things, they always make offerings. That's why when we receive teachings, when visiting Lamas, we always make mandala offering and then kata and all this. These are to create that cause, to represent, to signify what Buddha. So when Buddha was not teaching, then the devas, the Brahmas, Indras, they, especially Brahma with a Dharma chakra, Dharma wheel, and then I think it's Indra with the umbrella, making this as offering, requested Buddha to teach. And then finally Buddha agreed and then went to Varanasi, Benares to teach, where he turned the first wheel of Dharma. So now we are making the request. So because of this context or the background, so we imagine that we have this golden wheel, and then imagine that you are offering that to Lama Tsongkhapa, and then make this request: perfect, pure, holy gurus from the bellowing, is it? Billowing, or how do you? Billowing. From the billowing clouds of wisdom and compassion in the sky of the Dhammakaya, please let fall a rain of profound and extensive Dharma upon the receptacle of those to be subdued exactly as they need. So Tibetan poetry is quite interesting. So here we have analogy. So first you have the you see, I wrote all this, cannot find. Okay, too bad. So first we have the sky. Sky, the analogy, you have sky, you have cloud, you have rain, and then you have the earth or the field, and then you have the harvest. So in order, first you need to have the sky there to form clouds, rain clouds. From the rain clouds, rain falls. Rain falls onto the land. Then because of the rain, what happens? Growth happens. The whatever plants or whatever, they will be nurtured and then they will sprout. If it's already sprouted, it will help the growth. So likewise here, first Dhammakaya. Dhammakaya here is like analogous to that sky. So Dhammakaya is like Lama Tsongkhapa's enlightened state. So from there, the compassion and wisdom is like the compassion, wisdom is like the cloud. With that cloud, what happens is, then Lama Tsongkhapa's, the rain of teaching comes. When the teaching comes, who does they receive? The receptacle of those who are, ripened. The ripened students, they receive the teaching. And with that, upon receiving the teaching, then they are able to develop or progress in their spiritual field, or they're able to yield the spiritual result. So this is what I'm saying. It's put in a poetry form. So basically you are requesting Lama Tsongkhapa to teach. So of course you are requesting to your own guru. This is so important that at the end of this, you imagine that your guru has accepted. So remember the first, I think we in the first stanza is requesting your guru to live long. That and here, it is important to imagine this, that your guru has agreed, accepted to teach. Because when you do this, you are creating a causes. So what happens is, you will have more opportunities to receive teachings from your own root guru. So this is the way to create causes or conditions. Then finally, the dedication. So now we are dedicating whatever merits we have accumulated up to here or in the past. So we know the importance of dedication. So without proper dedication, so our merits will be wasted or destroyed by anger. So here, may whatever dagi chini sabe gyawad tenda dhokuna kangpenda kebara chuzun losan tabayi tembe nyingbo ringdo seje shows. May whatever virtue I have collected benefit the teachings and all transmigratory beings. So here we are dedicating towards the preservation and flourishing of Buddha Dharma in general. Because the survival of Buddha's teaching is very closely tied with the well-being or the happiness of sentient beings. Because Dharma is said to be the source of happiness, source of well-being. So if Dharma lives, then there is chance of happiness, because we would be able to know what is to be abandoned and what is to be cultivated. From that practice, we will be able to accrue the causes and conditions that give rise to happiness. And we will be able to prevent engaging in the causes condition that give rise to suffering and unhappiness. So that is contingent on Buddha Dharma, survival of Buddha Dharma. So that's why every prayer or dedication includes the flourishing or surviving, or what you call preservation of Buddha Dharma to remain long. And we are also dedicating towards the happiness of all transmigratory beings. So because this is a Mahayana practice, we don't dedicate just to ourselves and our family members. We share the merit. Sometimes we think that, oh, if I include all sentient beings, then I will get a little bit. Somehow it's get divided. It is not. But if you include everybody, you are in there. If you say all sentient beings, you are in that all sentient being. So you also benefit. There is no such thing as, it gets divided and you will get the tiny one. No, there is no such thing. Because you included all sentient beings, your merit will even, amplify, become greater. So that's generally. In particular, may it cause the essence of perfect, pure Losang Thapa's teaching to shine forever. So dedicating for Lama Tsongkhapa's Buddha Dharma to live or flourish. So now that ends the 7 limb practices. So we have now engaged in the practices to accumulate or cultivate merit. So the last heading is, the third heading is, what is the heading? Supplication. So supplication is done through mixima. This is the 4-line request or praise or whatever you call that, supplication to Lama Tsongkhapa. The story behind this is of course we have the extra line here. That's the additional line. The original 4-line was first composed by Lama Tsongkhapa himself. Of course, there's a bit of change. So, Mingme Tsewe, Terjen Chenre Se, Time Kembe Ombun Jamben Yang, Kanjin Kebe, Tsugin Rendawa, Shunu Lodu Shabla, Sowan Depths. So, Rendawa, Lama Rendawa is Lama Tsongkhapa's one of the main gurus. So, his full name is Shunu Lodu. So Lama Tsongkhapa composed that praise to his guru and offered that to Lama Rendava. So Lama Rendava, upon reading it, it says that this does not suit me. This suits you better. You are more qualified to have this praise. So he amended. Instead, you change the name. Kanjin Kebe Sujin, instead of saying Kanjin Kebe Sujin Rendava, he said Kanjin Kebe Sujin Tsongkhapa. And instead of Shunu Lodu Shabla Soade, Losang Thape Shabla Soade. Lama Tsongkhapa is from this area called Tsongkha. So that's why his name comes with the prefix of Tsongkhapa. His real name is Losang Thapa. So that's why it is considered very precious and it is very powerful in terms of receiving the blessing, because this is first composed by Lama Tsongkhapa himself, and he composed that for his guru, and his guru returned it to him. Because of that, that condition there, it is considered very precious and very holy. So now, how do we do that? We recite Mixima all the times, but all this involves visualization. Without visualization, it's just parroting. So first we need to understand the meaning. With understanding the meaning, we recite with understanding the meaning, then it will be more beneficial. So why we have this 5-line is the Siguba, we talked about that lineage. So they added one more to represent that Lama Tsongkhapa is the emanation of Rigsum Gombo, what you call the 3 lords of lords. I think the translation is something. I think it's called 3 here 3 protecting lords. So basically, it refers to Manjushri, Avalokiteshvara, and Vajrapani. So 3. These are called the 3 lords. Because why it is called 3 lords? In Tibetan we call Rik. So these 3 are the emanations of Buddha's what do you call Kenzin Nusum. Kemba is the Buddha's intelligence or the knowledge, and then Tsewa is the compassion, and then Nuba is the power. So these 3 are the emanation of Buddha's mind, let's put it, and then the compassion, and then the power. Because this is the feature of all Buddha. All Buddha has these 3 things. So that's why these 3 represent these particular qualities. So that's why they are called the 3 protecting lords. So because Lama Tsongkhapa is said or believed to be the emanation, embodiment or emanation of these 3, so the Sejyu lineage has added this extra line to say that you are also the emanation of Vajrapani. That's what it means. So now when it comes to supplication, there are 3 ways to do. So one is making supplications to Tsongkhapa on the basis of his outer qualities that bear resemblance with the 3 protecting ravishas. That's the Tibetan word. What this is basically saying is that when it comes to compassion among the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, no one can excel Avalokiteshvara when it comes to compassion, because that's why we call compassion Buddha. Likewise, so that's one. And then when it comes to wisdom, amongst the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Manjushri cannot be rivaled, or rival is the word, cannot be rivaled by any other Bodhisattvas. So that's why Manjushri is normally known as the Buddha of wisdom. And then when it comes to the power, there is no one that can rival Vajrapani, because Vajrapani is the Buddha's embodiment of power. So as these 3 Buddhas cannot be rivaled in these specific qualities, in Tibet at that time, Lama Tsongkhapa's knowledge, external knowledge, how intensively, how scholarly he was, cannot be rivaled. In the land of snow at that time, no one can rival Lama Tsongkhapa's extensive knowledge and qualities. So that's one way to supplicate Lama Tsongkhapa, realizing this, understanding this. So we normally just we don't really think about that. That's one. That's called the making supplication to Lama Tsongkhapa on the basis of his outer qualities that bear resemblance with the 3 protecting lords. Then another way of making requests is on the basis of his, what's that? The basis of his, I have double. On the basis of his inner qualities that fulfill the inner qualities of 3 protecting lords. So now we are talking about the actual quality, inner quality. So earlier is Lama Tsongkhapa is very learned, a person, great scholar. No one can compete. No one can, rival him in the land of snow. So for that one, I supplicate, and may I too become like you. That's one way. Now we are talking about not only you have these external qualities, not only you are as learned as, the other three, these Buddhas excels in their qualities. You are saying that you also possess this. When it comes to the inner qualities, when it comes to the compassion, it is the Avalokiteshvara. Charity is the one. No one can rival in terms of compassion, quality of compassion. In terms of wisdom, Manjushri is the one. No one can rival. And then, in terms of power, Vajrapani is the one. So likewise, as these trees have these special, unique qualities, you also possess these qualities. You possess the same quality because Lama Tsongkhapa is the emanation of these three. So because of that, you not only externally have these academic excellences, but you also possess all these three qualities, the same way as these three protecting lords. So knowing that, I supplicate you, and may I also possess such qualities. With that, if we recite, that's one way to supplicate. Then finally, make supplication to Tsongkhapa on the basis of his secret qualities that place him to be the indistinguishably identical with the three protecting lords. So now you're saying that you not only possess the qualities of the three lords, but you are them. You are inseparable. You are actually, in reality, you are them. So there are stories when Lama Tsongkhapa was born. The moment Lama Tsongkhapa was born, there was this great Lama who was doing Yamen, who is known to be a special Yamentaka retreater. I forget the name now. So he sent all these gifts and then asked them to please keep the boy clean. So the parents were so surprised. How did you know that we have given birth to a young boy? He said that I have requested Yamentaka to appear before me. And Yamentaka told me that next year on this day, I will come to this family. So this is show that Lama Tsongkhapa is the embodiment or the manifestation of Yamentaka, who is Manjushri. That's one story. And then when mother was, before the conception, one night mother had a dream that there was this, I think it's a father or mother now, I forget, I'm fuzzy with the details. So either one of them had a dream that there was a monk who came to their house, and he said that he is from, in China there's this mountain, Wu Tanshu, is it? I don't know, it's known to be the Manjushri's holy site. We call Ryuzenga the 5 mountains or something. So there's this particular, so that's where His Holiness wanted to go. Remember, His Holiness in his lifetime, he wanted to go to that place on that holy, to see that holy mountain. So anyway, this monk claimed in the dream that he is from this mountain, and he is asking for a place for the night. So they allowed him, and then he went into their prayer room and disappeared. So that is also a sign that Manjushri is coming in their house. And then the mother had a dream that there was this big procession there. Everybody is waiting. That it says that from the abode, the pure land of Avalokiteshvara, that Avalokiteshvara is coming. And everybody was waiting to welcome. And then suddenly kind of a light, which is supposed to be the jealousy, it came, and the mother was there, and it kind of dissolved into her. And then she of course there is felt this light, something, the lightness of some comfort in there. So these are all to suggest that Lama Tsongkhapa is the the emanation of these three Buddhas. But of course, these are the stories, but there are many sutras that prophesizing that in this time. I think we have covered one or two in the past. So on that basis, it says you now not only see them separate, you now no longer see Lama Tsongkhapa and the three, the Riksum Gombo separately, but you see that, oh, you are actually all three. You are the one, all in one. You are all in one. So I go refuge, or I supplicate you, and then may I be able, bless me to be like you. So you can choose whichever fits you, whichever you find it easier to do. So it is important to think this and then do. Okay? So we are already up. So now there is another part. Why is this in Tibetan? Huh. It stopped. Oh, maybe this is the end. That's strange. Oh, I see. Okay, there's a lot more. We are not going to discuss all this. So one part of Ganden Lha Gyäma is engage in the practice or engage in the visualization to enhance, to develop wisdom. So that part we will cover in another session. So hopefully I will be able to record the balance, and then I will post it, because I want you to have all this, so that if you decide to do practice, at least you have the full. And if you decide not to do, then it's up to you. But I have to make sure that you have the whole thing, so that you cannot blame me and your excuses that, oh, I wanted to do, but then Rinpoche didn't finish, you see, so I couldn't do. So no more excuses. I'm not leaving any room for your excuses. So I will try to post it. I don't know how soon, but I will try to post it. And then, so why I mentioned earlier, because I have met people that they wanted to do some practice, but they are lost at what to do. So this is one thing you can do. If you really don't know what to do, start with this thing, because it involves the refuge, bodhicitta, and then your guru yoga practice. Everything is there. You can have sessions. So let's say you can do this as your main practice if you want to. If you don't have any other commitments, then let this be your daily practice. And then if your time allows, maybe you can do a short retreat, a weekend retreat, whereby you have 4 sessions each day, maybe 2 hours per session, and then you do that, and this will be very good. So if you are able to do this sincerely, I think you don't need other practices. They will be good enough. So we have this tendency that we want to touch everything. We're looking for something new. What's new? What's new? What's new? In the end, nothing to show. Yes, you have snippets of this, this. But when you ask what is this one, nothing to show. Whereas if you focus on one main and then bring others to boost that practice, Not like touch one here, try and review, look, try one other thing. Fine. In the end, empty-handed, nothing to show. That's a waste. So build on one. You have one as a core, then bring others to build that. So that's end of our class and also end for the year, final class. And then I will be traveling. I will be going back to India to see my mother. And I think I will be only back in April. So I don't know when we can start again. And I don't think it is possible to do online from India. First of all, I don't know the situation of the internet where I live. And then I may be traveling here and there, will be busy, so no point. So we have no choice but to pause for a while. So as soon as I'm back and then I'm ready, I will let you know. In the meantime, you have no shortage of Dharma to practice. So don't give me that excuse that, oh, our teacher is not here, no more classes, so I cannot practice. No. You have plenty. You have bounty, abundance of all that thing. You can go back, do revision, go through, practice. The main point is, as we discussed in the beginning, all these Dharma classes is to implement, to apply, to practice. So since we have covered lots in the past 5 years, isn't it? I think started in 2018, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Wow, almost 5 years. So we have covered a lot. So there's no shortage. That's what I'm saying. So please stay safe and try your best. And then, I'll see you when I see you.
So we will do the dedication prayer, especially with the offering of thanks, mandala. To wish Rinpoche safe travels and a safe return.
Thank you.
So
can I please request you to return to teaching?
Oh, sure, I will return. Yeah, thank you.
So on page 4.
I forgot. And after this, we have a lunch, So Amatashila insisted that she wanted to offer a meal for us. So it is, I told her that it is too much of an inconvenience. First of all, they have been very kind to let us use the place. And not just letting us use the place. Every time we gather, there is chai, there is tea, there is something else, bread, always there. And then on top of that, they have offered this meal. So on behalf of Kachuling and all of us here, those who you are online, you cannot enjoy that meal. So thank you very much. Thank you for your hospitality, generosity. Thank you. And hope that when we come back next time, door is not locked. There is no new lock there. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Page 4, the mandala offering, and then page 6 for the concluding prayers.
Tama rira linje nyende gyamba de sanje shingdo mingde mbiwa ye drogun namda shingla chubara sho Guru rana menda la gana yata ya me Che ma je ba nama je jo che je ba nyamba me ba ya gone gondo pewara sho Kuzi rabden jen namgara chile choju jeba ta lozan tembe dreme zazuman Drowe muse dado ne joro che Korwe Shengamzo Pendan Dewa Malu Jungwe Ne Chenre Senwan Tenzin Jazo Shabe Sede Bado Tenjoro Che Kundo Zambo Denya Dejen Deda Gungin Jeso Dalo Je Gyawa Deda Tamje Rabdo Ngo Gyawa Tamje Je Ngowa Kanla Chodo Ngaba De Tagi Gewe Tsawan Degwe Zambo Jeje Rabdo Ngowa Yes. Okay, thank you all. 도지친 제다 바피가 도지친 도지친 알수 도지친 도지친 아니 도지친 알수
Sorry, we didn't think to bring content.
Oh, it's okay, no problem.